This is the Life's Journey with Best Friends podcast. Listen as two best friends for over 40 years share our experiences, insights, and unique stories. Hi, BFFers. We are finally back. It's been a few weeks. We have been on vacation. So I've been camping. Diana's been at her new home. We'll talk about that. So everyone, we just want to welcome you. If this is your first time at Life's Journey with Best Friends, I am Noelle.
And I'm Diana.
And we just kind of talk about everything and nothing and just, shoot the shit and things that are interesting to people of our age. At least we think so.
We have fun.
Yeah. So I went on vacation camping. Dave was gone for 11 days. Can you imagine?
He camped for that long.
He camped for that long. He's in a tent. He's insane.
Never.
No. And I go for a few nights, and I mean, it's hard because I have the CPAP, and I can't use it there, so I don't sleep very well.
Oh, because you have to plug it in.
Yeah. So I can't sleep with it.
Shucks.
Yeah, and I just get a shitty sleep. Yeah. And then the bugs love me, man. I don't know what it is. They love me. And
That's why I hate camping.
But other than that, I absolutely love it. But when I came home on Monday and Tuesday, I didn't feel good. And I couldn't figure out why. So of course now I legit had 20 mosquito bites. And I think I'm allergic to them because they get big and they get
infected. They get the welts.
Yeah. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have triple.
You're turning into me.
Because I would be oh my gosh, I was like, oh, it was horrible. But then I felt better. I think I just had some little virus or whatever, but I was fine. I mean, I went to work and everything, but I was like, oh, I got triple E. And I'm reading like on WebMD and everything. And I'm like, all right, I need to stop. Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely were. You turned into me for a second.
Right. I totally did. So tell us about your new adventure.
Oh my God, you're not going to want to hear my adventure. It was an adventure. So, Billy and Meg were going on their honeymoon.
Yes.
And so I had the kids for a week. So we're like, oh, perfect. We'll take them down to South Carolina. It'll be a blast. We were going to leave on Saturday, but that whole nation worldwide outage, the power outage thing, the Microsoft.
For the
it affected the it affected our airline, so we got canceled. So we were like, fuck, what do we do? So Jim found us a flight into Charlotte because everything in Charleston, because everything was booked. And so we were like, all right, we'll fly into Charleston and we'll drive a couple hours. Nothing bad. We can handle it. Plus, the good thing was we were going to fly JetBlue. So the kids, because I had the grandkids, they could watch TV and stuff, occupy their time. So Saturday night, we go out to eat and come home. I said to Jim, God, I don't know. I'm not feeling great. I was a little stuffy, but I was like, my stomach, something's up. I'm like, I'm queasy. He's like, oh, you're fine. So he handled the kids. I went and laid down. Next thing I know, I'm getting up and just puking. I can't stop. No. I'm miserable. I'm like, okay, so maybe it was just this one time. I come back. I'm laying in bed. Now the kids are in bed, so I definitely freaked them out. And I kind of fall asleep. I feel like I have a fever. I wake up in the middle of the night. I get sick yet again. Now I'm flying Sunday. And we have to leave the house by 7. So I'm like, all right, try to go back to bed. nothing will stay in, so I'm not taking Advil. I'm feeling miserable. I wake up one more time. I get sick again. And now it's time to like get up and get the kids ready. And I'm like, okay, I can do this. So I got everybody ready. We go, we stop at Dunk's. I get a Gatorade because I figured might as well get some fluid in me.
Right. Sure, sure.
So I'll be okay. Take like 3 teeny weeny sips. I'm okay. Make it to the airport parking garage, and Jim's driving around looking for parking, and I yell, "Sir, sir." So we pull over, and I just in my seat, but I open the door and just sick again.
Oh no. The
So
kids
then
must have
I'm
been
good.
freaking out.
Yeah, I'm good. I get the kids in. We get in the airport. I'm like feeling like shit, but I'm pretending I don't feel like shit. We get through security and all that. We're waiting. We get on the plane. We fly out. We land at the airport. I'm good the whole flight. Didn't get sick. I said to Bree, we went in the ladies' room. I'm like, oh, Nana's feeling better. I went to the bathroom, had a couple sips of ginger ale. So I was like, I'm doing good. All of a sudden, we're walking in the airport and my stomach just stopped. You know, that whole, you're going to do it.
Oh
So I
yeah.
cover my mouth and I'm running in the middle of the fucking airport. And I didn't make it all the way to the barrel. It's like coming out of my
Oh,
hands. I'm like, oh, Jim left. He didn't know I got sick. He was going to the rental car place.
oh.
Thank God some lady comes up to me and she goes, would you like some wet wipes? I'm like, yes, please, and thank you. She goes, here, keep the pack. And I was like mortified. I'm like, oh, it's just motion sickness. And I clean myself up. We get the rent a car, drive the 2 hours. I am dying. Okay. We get to
Oh,
the new house. I'm very excited. We're there. I go, you know what? I'm going to take a shower just to kind of relax myself.
yep, yep.
Jim goes, yeah, that's a good idea. Bree said that to me too. She goes, Nana, that'll make you feel better. So I was like, okay. So I do that. I get sick again. And then I'm definitely got a fever. So I went, showered, went bed, and was just like, Jim was so good. He took the kids out. I kind of napped. I got up. Now this is like 5 at night now by this time, 7 at night. And finally about 7 at night, I kept down seltzer water.
Oh,
And the next day I was fine.
so you don't think it was a fluish or like
I
a
don't
bug or
think
anything?
so. No, I think it was food poisoning.
Oh my
I
gosh, because
do.
no one else got sick.
No one else got sick.
Oh my
And you
gosh.
know, when people have the stomach bug, it goes right through everybody.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. The poor kids must have been
I
panicked watching it.
definitely traumatized them and I felt horrible. Horrible. Imagine seeing a crazy lady in the airport running with her hand over her mouth and then shit.
Oh, that
Only
kind
me.
and I'm not comparing it, but I have seen, you know, people put their hands over their face and throwing up to it. That happened one Christmas at our house with my one of my aunts. She just kind of sat there and threw up and literally threw her fingers and it sprayed across the living room.
Uh,
We were like, and she just kept sitting there doing it. We were like, what the hell?
Get up and go to the bathroom.
It was like a fountain. It was like all over I'm telling you, it was like from a movie. It was all over the Christmas tree and the presents and
Oh,
oh,
Noelle, that's awful.
oh, it was awful. God rest her soul. My Auntie Pauline, she had a lot of mental issues, so she was on a lot of medication. We didn't realize she was drinking so much. And of course, it didn't agree with her medication. And she just was sitting in the rocking chair and spewing. And I didn't even realize until I'm like, what the hell's on my arm? Why is that
Oh
wet?
my God,
Oh,
Noelle,
oh,
no.
yeah, it was awful. It was awful.
That's disgusting. But then the rest of the week, we had a great time.
That's
My
awesome.
house is coming along. We
Good.
have the kitchen table, some lights and fans put up, the living room set, the fireplace. I think end tables, all the beds are there. Yeah, it's coming
Awesome.
along.
I can't wait. So I'll be down there in a few weeks.
Can't
Woohoo!
wait. I can't
Yeah,
wait.
I know. So that'll be great. Oh, that's
I
good.
would. I wish I was there now.
I know. I bet that must be so tough coming back up to, Massachusetts after you're down there.
Yeah. I mean, I love it down there. I love it here, but we get stuff to do down there, and I just
Right,
want to be down there to get it
right.
done.
Yeah. So I kind of thought about that. So are you gonna change your license to down there and everything?
I think we might try to do that.
You should do it before the election so you can have two licenses and vote here and then vote down
Right?
here too.
Right? You
Oh
don't
my
need a
gosh.
license to vote in this state.
What?
In my state, you don't have to show ID.
You don't?
No.
Oh, we
I could
do.
be Joe Schmo and just go in and vote 10 times if they didn't remember me.
Oh my gosh, no, I have to show in my ditch. I've always had to show it in New Hampshire.
No,
Oh,
we just go in and we say Diana Duran Ave, or whatever your street is. That's
yeah.
not my street anymore. And they look, okay, what number? 28. Okay, what's your name? Barucci, cross you off the list.
Oh wow. Interesting.
So I could
Okay.
go back and be burned. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
like when she wasn't voting.
right, right. Yeah, wow. Yeah, see, that's a little scary, but
Yeah.
who has time to do that though? It's hard enough to get there to vote the first time,
No kidding.
Um, so we haven't really talked in a couple of weeks, and a lot of stuff has been going on. We had the assassination attempt on
Oh
Trump.
my God. Our world is falling apart.
I know, and there's been so many celebrity deaths. Like the month of July was like
It was like
absolutely,
one right after another after another.
it was crazy. Yeah. So, I mean, there has been a lot going on, and we don't really want to cover everything. We just kind of wanted to quickly touch base and say, okay, we do know what's going on in the world, but we're just so. But have you
This
had
is a
any like obsessions? I mean, that you want to share with everyone?
So I got a couple two things. So talking about the deaths is Shannon Doherty. You and I had talked about this.
Yeah, yeah.
He made a list, which I find incredibly I love the idea. Okay. I think it is incredibly smart of her to think ahead to not have those fake fucks at her funeral. So she made a list of people that weren't allowed to come to her funeral.
Right.
Instead of inviting, she uninvited.
So first of all, no one is invited to a funeral, and
Well,
second of
she
all,
doesn't want them to attend. Let's put it that way.
who gets to tell those people? Like, if let's just say it was you or I, like, would you say to me, Noelle, I don't want these people at my funeral when I die, and you have to tell
Yes.
them they can't come?
Yep.
Thanks
Yes.
for that job. I know I was your maid of honor. So what's this privilege called? Like death of honor? Like
Yeah, you're my death of honor.
oh my gosh. So
Master of ceremonies.
that's
Yeah, no,
I mean,
I love that. What do you think?
I guess I understand it. I don't think I would tell anyone not to come, but I don't know. It just seems
It's one last
it seems so
jab.
mean.
It's just that one last jab at them. They can't do anything in rebuttal.
It just
No, they
seems
can't.
so mean to me. Like, what if, I mean, I know people don't get along, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they don't love the other person and they need to deal with it
No,
in their own way.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I totally agree with it.
So who was on her list? Okay, so let me
They only let out 2 names.
two. I wasn't sure if there were more. So those two
There were more. There were like 30 or something, but they only 2.
30 people?
I don't know. There was a number of people. I could be wrong at that number. I'll look it up.
Right.
but I know that, two women. Can you
Well,
name
those,
them?
yeah, those two I totally understood. It was Alyssa Milano, who they
Yep.
were on Charmed together, and it was always rumors that they didn't get along. And then the
There
other,
were rumors that Alyssa Milano had her fired
yes,
from,
yeah, right.
okay,
And
here it
then
is.
the other one was oh my gosh, from 90210, Jenny
Jenny,
Garth. Yeah. And also that was, a whole thing that she got fired because of her from 90210. So those two I didn't, I wasn't
I don't,
surprised, but I had thought over the years
I don't know if it's, so
they made
it's,
up, I thought.
yeah, me too. So I thought, Jenny Garth and her made up. Oh,
Yeah.
and I think they did, but I don't think it got, I think she didn't want her there.
So imagine being
She didn't
Jenny
want them
Garth
being fake.
or Alyssa Milano, right? Whichever one. And someone calling you and saying, okay, or you finding out that you're someone that you knew passed away, and then someone calling you saying,
You
you're
can't
not
go.
invited, you can't show up. Like, that's a big fuck you, right?
It's the biggest fuck you can have, Noelle, because
Wow.
there is no coming back from that, right?
Right. Do you think it's going to be a trend now? Everyone's going to be like,
Oh my
I
God,
have a list.
I think it's gonna be a trend. Yes,
Oh my gosh.
I loved it.
That's funny. Yeah, I know when you sent it to me, I was like shocked. Like, oh my gosh, like who does that? But you know what? You're right. It's your life, even though you're dead, it's still who you want there to be there and
Who you
remembering
want,
you. Yeah,
right?
yeah, true. I
And who
get
you
it.
don't want.
Right. What's your other thing?
This right here. It's fucking
The pic
Swedish fish.
of
I'm
oh,
addicted right now.
oh my gosh. I've always loved
Addicted.
those. Yeah,
I'd eat the whole fucking bag.
we can't have those in the house. That and I'm not so much like I like chocolate. I mean, I like those chewy things too, but like Dave eats the gummy bears
I don't
the
like
jolly
gummy bears.
and the Jolly Ranchers. But Jolly Ranchers, he chews like they're gummy bears, like he doesn't suck
The
on them.
hard one?
Yes. I swear he's gonna break teeth, so we can't, like it's always one of the presents that his mom gets him or his sister gets him, and I literally have to hide them because he just pops them in his mouth like
And he's
tom
like,
tom tom like popcorn. It's awful, and I'm like, no.
that's hysterical. I love watermelon Jolly Ranchers. My ultimate favorite candy, all
Well,
time favorite.
so wasn't that like the watermelon sticks like when we were kids and the
Oh my
apple?
God, remember those?
Yes.
Loved them.
Yeah. And because
Yeah,
then after a while you could like bend them. Yeah.
yeah. Those took
Yes.
days to eat, remember?
They did. They had the watermelon stick, the apple stick, and then the
I
lemon
didn't like the apple
heads.
stick. Oh my God, I loved the lemon heads and then Alexander the grapes. Remember
Yes,
those?
yes. Yep.
Loved them.
Yep,
We
me
had
too.
the best candy store up the street from my house. It was all candy. It was great. It was
Oh,
called the Goodie Shop.
yeah, the goodie shop. Yeah, right across from Elm Street Bakery. I remember
Yeah,
I would go in there with Julie because she lived up the street,
yeah.
up in the
Everybody
projects.
would
Yeah.
go in there and get
Yeah.
candy.
It was awesome. That like whole one side of the store all by itself and the slush
Yep.
puppies and
The
oh my
slush
gosh.
puppies, yes.
And get them in the little baseball hat. That was stupid, but I used to get them in the baseball hat.
Yes, they did do them in the baseball hat, but they also, I want to say they did ice cream in the baseball hat
Yeah,
too,
some
didn't
places that
they?
had ice cream would do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my gosh, oh, those were. I gotta find all that candy now. I love that stuff.
I got a distributor that does that all.
Oh, nice. No, I don't want to. I don't want a 5 pound bag. I just want a little
Uh,
bag.
we have a candy guy. If you ever want to do it.
I will. Well, so my obsession, and in my lifetime, I never ever thought these words would come out of my mouth. I read the Paris Hilton book.
I literally am so shocked about that with you. What made you read that?
So Julie, our executive producer, had mentioned that she's been following her Paris Hilton on TikTok. And I was like,
I
kind of just
yeah,
rolled my eyes. And she's like, no, you need to understand, like, you need to listen to what she's saying. She's like, she doesn't even sound like Paris Hilton anymore. I'm like, what?
really, because I'm not a fan.
No, I am totally not a fan. And that was kind of, all I would ever see her in was like the Inquirer or TMZ or any
Something
of those things.
stupid, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I never watched any of her TV shows or anything like that. But it kind
I
of
did.
yeah, I know. So what did you watch?
I watched the one with Simple Life.
Oh, okay. So so I'll go back to that. So what I found out is basic, like, if you listen to her now, her voice is completely different.
Really, she's
She
not.
doesn't
That's
have
hot.
that baby
That's
voice.
hot.
No. So that was a complete act that she had been doing for decades. So
Really?
yeah, she's compared herself to kind of like Lucille Ball and Marilyn Monroe combination. She likes to be really funny, but she likes to be that sex pot. So in reading this book, when I say reading, I'm listening to it as an Audible or an audio book that I get from the library. And let me tell you, money doesn't get you out of everything. This woman has gone through, I'm trying to pull up my list. I wrote some notes. Um, you, so it's unbelievable. Right? So right now she's 42 years old. I can't believe
Hmm.
she's 42. I mean, I know we all age, but she's 42. So she was like an influencer, quote unquote, before
Right.
it was
Before
a,
the influencers were an in thing.
right. And she developed that like on her own. She did her own thing. She's a businesswoman, and even though she came from money, and that definitely helped her, she made a lot of her own money, which was good for her. But, she has ADHD, and she was not diagnosed until she was an adult. So this is where a lot of her issues came from when she was younger, and how she was like constantly going to clubs. She didn't like to sit still. She liked the music
Is
because it
that a
like
cop
made her
out?
feel some part. I don't know. I think so. But let me tell you. So in eighth, she had a relationship with the teacher when she was in eighth grade.
I have no sympathy for her.
Well, but
Go ahead, tell me about this stuff, and then I'll tell you.
yeah,
I
that's
just
okay.
feel like, you know what? I'm not feeling bad for millionaire, bazillionaire heiress Paris Hilton.
Right. But at the same time, you have to understand, like, think about as a teenager. I don't care how much money you have, you're still a teenager and you're stupid and you don't know what's going on. You don't know real life. And especially someone like her, she really doesn't
She
know
has
real life.
no clue how we live. She
Right.
has no
But
clue, Noelle.
right, but she also doesn't understand love and understand those types of feelings, just like a regular teenager. What you know then is really love, because that's all you know of what love is. So, but
Okay.
this teacher, I guess, would call her every night and tell her how beautiful she was, and they would talk for hours, and he would tell her how mature she was, and like he groomed her. And then one night when they were talking, he was like, "Are your parents home?" And she's like, "No." And he's like, "Oh, meet me at the end of your driveway." And like they kissed. He was her teacher. So
And she had to
regardless,
go back to school to have class.
well, her parents ended up driving up and seeing it happen, and she jumped out of the car, and she never ended up going back to that school, and nothing else happened. But come on, I mean, we know that happens to um regular people. Sorry, I have to look at
Right.
it. It happens to regular people. So, but wow, holy shit. And then another time, like her and her friend would go to the mall, just like we would go to the mall, and they would,
Yeah.
walk around, and they would talk to boys, and there was always these older boys that they would talk to. So they kind of got to know them, and they were their friends. You know how kids at that age say,
Yeah.
"Oh, they're my friend, they're my friend." Well, these two boys had her and her friend back to their apartment. She was drugged and she was raped. And so, like, these horrible things that, happen to everyone. And you're like, wait a minute, why doesn't she have bodyguards and things around her? Like, I didn't understand that part of it. But I'm like, okay, she's a stupid teenager. And I'm not saying that she brought that on herself. That is not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that things that happen to everyday women happen to even rich women
Yeah.
and people that you think are protected, but she clearly wasn't. So she she has all of these awesome teenage stories or really fun things that she did, like kind of like our tidbits. She
Yeah.
talks about that. And she talks about her show. So, getting on TV. There's a little bit before that I want to talk about afterwards. But so when she started her TV show, she said she wanted it to be like the Lucille Ball's show, the I Love Lucy show. And her best friend would be on it. And she said they played parts. That wasn't really them. That wasn't their persona.
You knew that because it was so far-fetched that they had to work in like this rural town and just be assholes. You
Yeah,
knew it was definitely scripted.
right,
You know what I
right.
mean?
Even though it was supposed to be a reality show, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So, well, within that time frame, too, actually, right before that happened, her sex tape was
Leaked.
leaked. Yeah. So, it
She
makes,
leaked it, didn't she?
she said she didn't know it was going to happen. She had no idea.
Okay.
And it was mortifying and she wasn't sure if the show would take off, but the show got really popular. So it makes you think, I know it's a catch
She
22. I
leaked it.
don't know. I don't know. However, because she was the rich, spoiled girl that she was and would kind of do whatever she wanted, she literally would go out and party all night long. Was not like this was at
Right, she
14.
partied with all kinds of crazy celebrities. Oh,
Yep.
you know,
Yep. 14, 15, 16.
getting into clubs,
Yep. Yep.
drinking.
Well, because she also realized that, if she was there, people would invite her places and they would basically pay her to show up because if people knew that Paris Hilton was going to be there, they would go to that club. So she was making
Right.
money
They
doing
get
that.
more
But
business.
right, and she had no interest in school at all whatsoever. So during this time, her parents, and I remember like seeing this on TV on the like Donahue or whatever those shows were at the time, like parents that had kids that were totally out of control, and they
Oh,
would
it was
have
Maury Povich
Maury Point, and they would have them
and
kidnapped in the
go to
middle of the
boot
night.
camp.
Yep, and send them to boot camps. So she, in her lifetime, had been to, at that point, was in four of them. She escaped three of them. But the conditions and everything that she talks about was horrific, especially this very last one that she went to, Provo Canyon School. So this was over a course of 2 years. So 2 years. And I guess I didn't realize that she wasn't in the spotlight because I didn't pay attention to, where
Right.
she was. But this school, they called them emotional growth boarding schools. If these kids did not do what these people said, well, they were literally tearing them down and trying to rebuild them up, supposedly. But they would often like punish them, like take all their clothes off, and they would drug them. The girls would have to go like in the middle of the night, have to have gynecological exams. So they were being molested. And so, yeah, it was absolutely horrific. I mean, listen to the book. She goes into a little more detail. She doesn't go into graphic detail, but the things that she describes that are going on are awful. And when she would escape, she would call her dad or her mom or her aunt and say, "You have no idea what's going on in these places." But these places had already kind of told the parents, "Hey, if you hear from your kid, they're lying.
They're
That's not
right.
true."
They're already setting it up to not pay attention to
Yeah.
that.
So the parents were like, "Nope, you got to stay there. You got to be fine." So when the very last time that she finally did escape and get out of there, and then her parents realized what went on, her parents were just absolutely devastated, which anyone would be.
Yeah.
But she didn't talk about it too much up until now, which is how Julie ended up finding her on TikTok because Paris
Started
Hilton now
talking about her book.
yeah, she's going through talking to Congress, and she's working with them to try and get these bills passed. So for the protection of these children, and she's now telling her story of what happened to her, and meeting up with other kids and stuff that had gone through the process, and they're telling their stories too.
Okay.
So it's absolutely devastating. So you're like, okay, I hear this story, and you're like, this is so far fetched, but holy shit, this is true. Like,
Yeah.
who's to say all the other stuff that she's gone through isn't true? But it was really interesting. I'm not sure I believe 100% of it, but you know what? It's her story. It's what she knows.
And now
And
she's a
never in my
mom.
yeah, and never in my life would I ever have said that I felt bad for Paris Hilton, and never would I have said I went down a rabbit hole. Let me tell you, this
Really?
girl has been in so many movies and has released so many songs. Go on to Spotify and do, Paris Hilton.
Are
There's
they,
one, yeah, there's one song that I really, really like,
I
and
was gonna
I'm
say, are
like,
they auto-tuned?
no, it's her voice. It's absolutely insane. So, where's I forget the name of the song. Oh my gosh. I'll have to look it up on my Spotify. But I mean, she went through oh, the stars are blind. That's it. The stars are blind. It's kind of this summery reggae kind of feel. And I was like, I literally rolled my eyes and I was like, wait a minute, I kind of like this. And
Yeah.
then I went on to YouTube, and there are other people that have covered the song. And
Okay.
yeah, and I'm like, okay, this shit, I had no idea. I mean, I guess she was this influencer during a time that I just didn't
Yeah.
give a shit about things. So, but yeah, if you're looking for something that's a little different, check it out. I mean, her book is it's pretty interesting. I did not get bored of it. It wasn't one of those things where I was fast forwarding through it, but
Yeah.
um yeah, and now she's like told she has kids.
She's
So I'm
got two
sure
kids, right?
two kids, yeah. So I'm sure that's changed how she feels about a lot of things too. And now she's like, I'm not playing this, character anymore. I'm here to
Yeah.
protect my children and to protect other people. And so, you know what?
I have a question. Does she say in the book, because the kids were born by surrogate,
They
right?
She didn't say that. I didn't know.
I,
No,
I was wondering, yes, her
they
kids were,
were?
yeah.
Are you sure?
Let me,
Oh, sorry. Guinness. Gin.
hold
Um,
on.
I didn't
Personal life. Hold on, hold on.
I thought she gave birth to them.
So it says in 2019, Hilton married Carter Riam, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
November 11th. They have a son born via surrogacy in January and November. So the son was born and then in January, and the daughter was born in November.
Wow, I know she went through in
I
vitro, and
just I just was wondering if she couldn't have kids or why she went surrogacy. That's all.
so she
Just
did have an
curious
abortion.
because she was older so I didn't know if that was a reason.
Right, she did have an abortion earlier in her life. She just wasn't ready to have children, and that's her decision. But you know what? She did not say that they were surrogate. I'm sorry, I'm shocked that I didn't know that. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Wow.
Yeah. So I just was curious to see
Yeah.
if
She was having trouble conceiving, so that must be it because she went through in vitro for a really long time.
really, okay. So that's
Yeah.
probably what happened. I
Yeah.
just was curious. I just didn't.
Yeah. So yeah,
Because
she
her
went
kids
from
are
this
real close in age.
yeah. Yeah, and she went from this huge party girl and this craziness to now, sitting there in front of Congress. So let's hope she
Right.
really is, doing the right thing. But yeah, never
It's
in my life
crazy.
would I thought in realizing like who like her aunts were. And I had no idea her aunt was in that movie, the oh my gosh, the Disney one.
Which is Mountain or something.
Yeah, I had no clue that that was her
Kim.
aunt.
Yeah, and then they were both on Housewives of
Yep.
Beverly Hills.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
And now her mom is on it.
Yeah.
One aunt and her aunt Kim left, and now it's Kyle and the mom,
Yep.
Kathy.
Yep. And one of her uncles or grandfather, I don't know, I lost track of the tree, was married to Zsa Zsa Gabor, and
Oh,
someone
really?
was dating or was shortly married to Elizabeth Taylor. He was married.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. So I was like, oh my gosh.
Wow,
So
so they've always had lots of
yep,
crazy,
Hollywood vibes. Yep.
yeah, from
Yeah, I
day
mean, there
one.
was a point that she did live, they sent her away to live with her grandmother. She called it Graham Cracker, which is really cute, down in Florida. So she lived there for a year, and then the family moved into one of the big hotels. Oh my gosh, the Waldorf Astoria.
Oh,
And
really? In New
yeah, they
York?
lived in there. So and then she moved in with it. Can you imagine living in that hotel? Like, what the hell? Yeah.
It's like the sweet life of Zach and Cody.
Yeah, right.
There was a
Exactly.
rich late girl that lived in it.
People check out the book, see what you think,
Oh,
and then I think there's also like a documentary on YouTube, which I didn't watch because I went on to YouTube and then just started watching all her videos and stuff. And it was,
and then you got the rabbit hole.
oh my gosh, yes, it was crazy.
I
Absolutely
see
crazy.
her on TikTok all the time with her kids.
Yeah. I just started following her on TikTok. So, I mean, it just seems very, very sweet, but
We'll see how
she's
it
an,
goes.
yeah, she's an actress,
Yeah.
but
Who
she
made her
sounds
own
like
money though. That's pretty cool.
yeah, yeah. She's doing some good work with her notoriety and see how that, pans out. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's all. Well, you've got me intrigued, so I think I want to read the book.
You should
I
definitely.
gotta
It's
see if I can get it on Kindle.
yeah. I also after that did I don't usually like to listen to audio biographies because I'm just I don't know. They're
Is it
famous
her voice
people.
that's reading it?
Yeah, it's her voice, yep.
Okay.
And she does her baby voice and then she does her regular voice too. So but I recently did Green Lights by Matthew McConaughey, and
I
that
love
was pretty
him.
good. He's definitely full of himself, but I
Yeah.
really liked it. I enjoyed it. He isn't,
Yeah.
one of my favorite actors, but he's led a pretty interesting life. So that was pretty cool. But
Is he brothers with Woody Harrelson?
oh yeah,
Did
they're
he talk
brothers from
about that?
another mother. Yeah.
The father is supposedly slept with two different they're supposed to share the same father, I think.
No, no.
It's rumored, Noelle.
Oh, he didn't mention that in there, and I thought Woody Harrelson's dad was a bookie or some.
Or maybe Woody, I think Woody's dad had an affair with his mom, or his dad had an affair with Woody's mom, or something crazy to that effect.
He only mentions Woody Harrelson once when he's talking about this thing that he did with him, and just said, "Oh, my brother from another mother," and he didn't say anything else. So no, okay, I'm gonna have to go down that rabbit hole and check that
Yeah,
out.
look that up.
Ooh, interesting. Okay, oh, cool. Other than that, the only other thing that's going on right now is the Olympics. So,
Yeah, I've been
um,
watching here and there. You know what I'm addicted to right now is Love Island. Its season is so fucking dramatic. It literally had me at one point like this.
okay, so next time you're gonna watch one of those stupid shows, you need to let me know so I can watch and we can talk about it.
Okay, okay.
How many episodes is?
It's over. I just
Oh,
started watching it. So
oh, okay,
the drama is fucking nuts.
all right.
Nuts.
So I would watch it for the podcast just so we can talk about it because I'm sure there are a lot of other people that watch it too, and it's not, just
It's good.
whatever. So, coming back to the Olympics a little bit, did you know that there are some new categories? Did you know that breakdancing is actually a category now in the Olympics?
Surfing.
Yep, surfing was another one. 3-man basketball.
I didn't know that.
Yep. But breakdancing kind of like made me giggle.
There was
I'm like,
something else that I was like, when did this become an Olympic sport? What was
um,
it? I don't know, something
skateboarding. Skateboarding.
skateboarding. That's
Yeah.
exactly what it was. It was skateboarding. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
They
How
have
is
X
this an Olympic
Games.
sport?
Yeah, I thought X Games was like their
Yeah,
type
it's
of
weird,
Olympics.
right? I
Yeah,
don't
very
know.
weird. Well, and then there's other like sports that I had no idea were actually a sport, like even previous to this, like canoe slalom.
I saw that. You know what's flooring me about the Olympics this year is they have the surfing. It's
Yeah,
in fucking Tahiti though.
yeah. Well, where are you
It's
gonna?
like
You
I
can't surf
know,
in
but
Paris.
it's so weird. That's why it shouldn't be a sport.
Yeah, I know it is kind of weird, but I mean it's amazing to watch them.
Oh
But
my God, yes. The waves that they catch and stuff, absolutely. But it's just so weird that they're in Tahiti and they're not with everybody.
right, and not everyone's in Paris. Yeah, it is kind of weird. But yeah, we've caught a little bit of things here and there. Like there was another one, mountain biking. I didn't know that was an Olympic
Me
sport.
neither. I saw that. I was like, what the heck?
Yeah, we watched that, and then we that was pretty interesting. It was a race between for second and third, and USA ended up becoming in coming in second. So that was cool to watch. And then we watched really quickly of um oh my gosh, water polo.
Oh my God, I was just gonna say to you, how the fuck do they play that game?
I
They
don't know.
have to be tremendous athletes
They
because they're
do.
treading water the entire time. Think about being a goalie.
Right. And they're always drowning each other. I'm like, is that legal?
I could, synchronized swimming is another one that's
Yeah.
crazy to me.
Yeah. Those are
Crazy.
absolutely insane. Like I've never even watched it before in my life. And I was like exhausted just watching them.
Even just regular swimming to be able to be under the pool or whatever for that long of a period. I don't know how people do it. I'm
Oh, I
lucky I can
did
hold
that.
my nose when I jump.
Yeah, I did that when I was younger, so I understand that. I just don't understand, the pull. I guess treading water after a while, you just kind of naturally do it. So,
Yeah, but you're using your hands to catch the ball and throw it.
did
You're
you
not like
see
treading water like this. You're just treading with your feet.
your feet? Did you see the builds on those guys?
That's crazy.
Right.
Crazy.
Yeah. So to them,
Even
it's
the
like what?
women and just even the swimmers, the backs and the shoulders, and
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
nuts.
Hey, did you know field hockey, women's field hockey was an Olympic sport?
No.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
Okay, so this is the other big thing we need to talk about with the Olympics. The women's boxing. Now, I have
Oh,
nothing against transgender people,
no, not at
but
all.
if you're a man, you shouldn't be boxing a woman. She quit after 46 seconds.
Yeah, well,
I
and
mean, she said it
unfortunately,
was the hardest she'd ever been hit. It's
yeah,
not fair.
yeah. No, there are two people that actually failed the test, the
Of course
gender
they
test.
failed. They're
So I
fucking
don't
men.
right, don't understand if they're failing doping, why are they allowing that? Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I feel so bad for those women.
I mean,
It
that's fair.
sucks.
Then they drew the short stick, and now she's disqualified because she quit.
Yeah, yeah. But well, because
Not fair.
she took that one hit and was like, I've never in 16 years of boxing, she had never felt
Never
a hit
been
like
hit that hard.
yeah, yeah,
Ridiculous. That guy should be they should be ashamed of themselves.
yeah. I mean that is so that's a tricky situation. I know it's tough. But men and women in their bodies and in their physique
Framed
are
differently.
definitely totally different. And that's why we have men's sports and women's sports. Yeah, something as physical as that is just, yeah,
Right.
there's got to be some things in place at this point because they should be able to compete.
In this
But
day and age, there definitely needs to be something in
yeah,
place.
maybe,
It's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah. I mean, I don't want to be the person that's in charge of doing that because regardless of what I say, I'm going to hurt someone's feelings, even if I'm trying not to,
I know.
but yeah, there's got to be something there. It's just, it's not okay. It's not okay.
No.
It's like, that's why they have weight,
Classes.
different classes because of
Yeah.
it, right? You're
Yeah,
not going to have a
featherweight, light,
250-pound guy fighting
heavyweight,
a
middleweight,
110
whatever.
pound fighting. Yeah. So there's
Yeah.
got to be that kind of class, I think, is the only way they're going to be able to get around that. So, which is
How do our
unfortunate.
BFFers feel, you think?
Yeah. Yeah. Let us know. And
It's controversial, but I honestly think it's not fair.
yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I agree.
And I honestly don't think it's fair for a boy to play in any girl sport. And I really don't think it's right for a girl to play in a boy sport. She's gonna get killed.
Right. Well, that's always been an issue. Like, think about hockey teams. As you know, in high school, there were
When
never
we
girl
were young,
hockey
there were
teams.
never girls' teams.
No, no. And that was always, something else that was controversial. And, it's been tried and it's been done. It's just, and then they ended up making girls, hockey teams,
It's
which
the
is
best
which is
thing.
awesome.
Right.
Yeah, because ended up being more women that wanted to play, which is
And
awesome.
didn't want to
But
get killed.
let us know what you think. I mean, uh, we're not going to get mad at anyone. You can say whatever you want. We have no
It's
problem.
your opinion.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely. So
I
yeah,
like
just
to know what other people think, or or help me change my thinking. If
yeah,
it's, give me some reason to.
yeah, something well informed, not just because I said so.
Right. Exactly.
So you sent me this weird thing,
Oh,
and I'm gonna send it to Julie to post. So there's a new
craze. Is it a craze? I don't know.
single women. Yeah, single women are starting to replace men with the viral quote unquote boyfriend bear. So it's basically this huge, huge stuffed animal that's like in the body is like the size of a man, and then
I
the
had to
head
do
is
a
this
double take when I saw it. It's
a
like, what the
little
fuck is
teeny
that?
tiny like teddy bear head. And I'm like, what in the world is this? And yeah, it's pretty creepy. I mean, they have them dressing up.
And
We'll
clothes.
post it. It's absolutely insane. Take a look at it. It's oh my gosh, it's like the funniest thing.
It's
So now of
freaky.
course I'm looking at it and I'm just like, I feel like it's like I don't know.
Weird.
Is it a mental thing? I don't know. Yeah, I get it. People have their like little things that they sleep with. Like I have a favorite pillow, but
Get a body pillow.
yeah, right. Why does it have to have arms with muscles on it? And I don't know, kind of
Ugly.
creeps me out.
Clothes.
I guess to each their own, but man, that's a little weird.
It's very strange. The
Yeah.
strange thing of the day.
I mean, I know when, Dave's away, it's hard for me to sleep because he's not in bed. But if I put a few pillows there, hey, it'll look like he's sleeping there.
I always have the dog sleep on the bed with me when
Yeah,
Jim's
that
not
works
home.
too. So, anyways, but yeah, that's all. I just wanted to interject that and like put that out there. Just remember that it is always better to have a friend with two chins than
Two faces. And
have
I
a great
only have
week.
one.
All right, we'll see you guys next week.
See you next week. Bye, BFFers.
Bye. Love you.
Bye.
You've been listening to Life's Journey with Best Friends. For details on any of the things we've mentioned in the podcast, including photos, visit our website lifesjourneybff.com. You can also email us at lifesjourneybff@gmail.com or visit us on Facebook, Instagram, or Threads.
Remember, no matter where life takes you, you are never alone when you have a best friend by your side. Until next time.